Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Use that promo code Leading Off when you sign up today. It's me, Joey P. That's the Welsh, and it's you. Actually, that's the Welsh. I went the wrong way. Everything's opposite on the camera. Stop poking me. It's the Welsh, and of course, it's the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks hanging out in the chat. Don't forget, Friday, join us for a special tribute to all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, for a very special edition of Leading Off. Make sure you join us live on the YouTube. Be there for it. It's going to be opening day-ish, but better. So Welsh, I can only ask you, did you have a chicken cutlet for dinner last night?
I didn't. Everybody, cannolis and cutlets and all these questions. Listen,
is that my autobiography? Cannolis and cutlets.
That would be a great book. Cannolis and cutlets.
The Joe Pisapia story.
Am an inquisitive individual. I ask questions. Everybody just goes around and just agrees with everything. And I was like, what exactly is the cutlet portion of it? Is the cutlet like, the type of meat?
Is the cut of meat. It's a
cutlet. Or is it the way that it is cooked or something? That's all I was asking. Kind of like a fillet. Like fillets are not fillet is the way it's cooked, correct? Because fillets are not good.
No, fillet is also the way it's cut. Typically, a fish. You fillet it with that knife.
I ask questions, and I am here for all these people that pretend.
I'm just sad about your food knowledge. I think at the end of the day, so let's instead be happy. Let's be happy.
It's all in baseball. It's all in prospects and baseball. There's no food. There's no other things. Everyone's like, "Hey, let's talk about going overseas." I've been to Nashville. That's all I've been. I don't go anywhere. I go to the backfields. I go to Complex League. I talk to prospects. I know baseball. I don't know other things. So we're learning along the way, Joe.
There you go. Shota Imanaga, pretty good yesterday. 7 more innings, struck out 8 guys. So we got the over on that number yesterday. Hooray. Also, Cody Bellinger returned. That was a fun little nugget there. And what a return it was. 3 for 4 with a homer. So Shota Imanaga continues this first time around the league to be just filthy, just dominant, just awesome. So people are asking me, should I be selling high and cashing in and getting someone to overpay on Imanaga? Because I do understand the perspective, which is he has been so good, so dominant. He's not going to have an ERA, under 1 all year. So what do you think about that prospect of maybe selling and cashing in for a boatload for Imanaga?
If there's actually a boatload, that's, I think, the biggest question here, because everybody at all times, you're looking at any player that's performing really well, and the underlying stats do say like he's gonna have some type of regression. So it's like, okay, get out while you can. But I think what gets lost in that translation is just how good season wide is Shota Imanaga going to be, and that's kind of the tough part. The thing I've never really loved is that he is kind of just a 2-pitch pitcher. And I mentioned this before. It's fastball and splitter. That's what he throws. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to do quick math. 73% of his pitches thrown yesterday were fastballs or splitters. Now, he alter where he's throwing them and makes them, become better pitches and stuff like that. But those type of guys are a little bit tougher. And sometimes when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. And specifically high-end splitter guys, if that splitter's not working, you only have the fastball. But even though the fastball isn't a powerhouse, the stuff plus goes across the board because he can command it. He's deceptive. It's the reach, the over, like the IVB, the visual view of how the fastball comes out for everybody. It's devastating. So coming back to it, the question is like, yeah, he's going to regress in some level, but is that regression going to make him SP 28? Or is that regression just going to even him out to being like a top 10 SP the rest of the year? And that's my struggle with it. I lean to not move Imanaga unless someone is going to blow you away, unless someone's going to trade their awesome superstar that's struggling, those Julio Rodriguez sellers, those, not Randy Rosarena. I don't think that's enough, but like in line with that, I tend to think that Imanaga, yes, he will even out, but it's going to be good this year. And I would love to see a little bit more of a pitch mix in here, but I don't know. Like, you guys tell me, what are the potential trades that you could sell Imanaga for?
Theoretical overpay. Logan Webb and how about Logan Webb and Marcelo Zuna? Would you do that?
It's a pretty good trade.
Say no.
I think that makes I just think that makes your team offensively pretty good. It is a step down pitching wise. Like Imanaga over Webb, I think rest of season kind of feels like the deal. All right, give me another. Come on.
Oh, well, geez, I had to work really hard for that one. I wasn't expecting to. But that one's very interesting, though, because Webb theoretically was no brainer. Everybody had Webb ranked way above Imanaga going into this year.
Yeah, no,
so that's one of those things. Like, do you trust the past in the process, or do you trust what your eyes are telling you right now? All right, let's see here.
I have one for you.
Okay, you give me one. Yeah, yeah. Why don't you do one of these for a change?
Yeah, I'll do it. And by the way, I just before I get away from it, I just wanted to mention in that matchup yesterday, he had 20 total whiffs. 15 of them came from his splitter. I mean, even though I'm saying I'm not going to hold on to him, there's got to be a point where
Shota Imanaga for Corey Seager from the chat from Kiko.
I swear to God, that is what I had pulled up. I have right on my thing. I just didn't get to say it yet. Right on the thing right up here that you guys can't see. I had pulled up Corey Seager while I was doing my little narrative about how he was yesterday. I just wanted to let people know everything was off the splitter yesterday. At some point, they're going to stop swinging at it, and that is maybe a little worrisome. I literally put up Corey Seager. I want you to answer that. That was my question. Who asked that?
Well, I don't want to give the crappy, it depends on your roster construction answer.
Well, then don't. So
I won't. I want Shota Imanaga. Corey Seager.
Over Corey Seager?
Yeah. Seager always gets hurt. It's one of those like Mike Trout inevitabilities where I hate saying it. It hurts my soul to say it, but it's just true. Let's talk about another good thing. Ketel Marte at a home run. We'll see if Welsh got on the board. Corbin Carroll, I don't know. Is he back? 3 straight games with a hit. There's another guy we kept saying bye. Like, he was never going to be terrible all year as long as he was healthy. So,
I've been of the.
Come on.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's time. It's time to turn around Corbin Carroll. It was going to happen. I don't think the window of trading for him is closed. Do you?
No.
I don't
People
think so
are
either.
like, listen, I am of the likes that he's not going to be able to get back to where he was. His value has changed. He acknowledged the other day, because I've been droning on about what the hell's going on with the shoulder and all the things. And he acknowledged that he got his swing too flat, is what he said. And he was really weird about it. So I like that he's changing that, but he said something interesting. I've been like, why the hell are you swinging at every first pitch? And he said last year, to get out of his funk, is he got hyper aggressive early on. So that's what he's trying to do. It really hasn't worked, except as of recent, things are starting to turn around. He's got hits in 6 of his last 7 games, 3 straight games with a hit. 2 of those are multi-hit games, and he had an opposite field homer yesterday. Those are good signs. Here's another bad sign, though. He hasn't stolen a base since April 17th. So Corbin Carroll's all over the board. I agree with how far down Carroll went. This is an interesting time to buy, because I think some people are seeing this as, oh, I can get out from Corbin now. I'd be willing to buy Corbin on the low, but I don't like coming back to Imanaga. I don't think
the
low.
Shorty get low. The low. I think you mean the down low.
There's like
the low. I think is pretty. I'm pretty sure that's one of like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If it's not,
Lolo
it should be.
Yeah, Lolo Pizza Pia. There's a low, and then there's like a low.
Why is she my wife? I don't know.
You definitely would have a Real Housewife, whatever. But there's like low, which is like maybe like 90%. And then low is in like the 80 percentile range of what you're paying for Carroll's perceived value. I would be interested in buying that low value. I don't know if I'd buy the high because I don't think he's going to get back to being a first or second round player. What are you losing it about?
This is the dumbest conversation. And that's saying something, because we've had a lot of dumb guys. The low or the high.
I'm just trying to talk in layman's terms.
What? About it sounds like the Wiggles or something. It's like,
but every single baseball person's like,
in the before time.
We'll talk about the expected. I mean, I do that too, but I'm just trying to talk in some layman's terms. High highs and low lows. People can understand.
Thank you for dumbing it down for all of us with the high highs and the low low. Justin Verlander, he was low. He was very low. 7 runs, 8 hits. Ugh, not good against the Yankees. Any fear about Justin Verlander here?
Well, I'm a little bit worried.
Glasses, actually, that's a good look for you. Glasses and beard. Let me tell you, man.
I have a photo where I had the mustache and I took the pictures. I looked like Rasball. Is it Gray? Not Gray. I just looked just like, it was great. Justin Verlander, yes, absolutely worried. He looks super old. He's older than me. That says something. I don't feel super optimistic that it is all going to like turn around and get back to vintage Justin Verlander. It's just going to be a little bit dicey.
Okay. I'm not investing in 40-something-year-old pitchers. I get up every morning and things hurt for no reason. I can't imagine what it's like to play Major League Baseball. And that's why it's starting to worry me, the Max Scherzer thing. Like, I was so excited he was coming back early, and then this thumb thing cropped up, and I was like, oh, here we go again. It's like, maybe this is another thing, too, where Scherzer gets back on track, and maybe we do shop him around if you got him on your roster to see what he can bring back.
And it's something to consider, like, it's probably like more about consistency and how they're able to keep going. Because looking at Verlander, his velo was up across the board. Because it's fun to mention like what they did in this start. Velo fastball was up 0.5 mile per hour. Slider was up almost 1 mile per hour, which is good, but it was getting no whiffs. It wasn't around the zone really a ton. Outside the zone, his top 2 pitches, he throws around 75% of the time. 28 and 17% swing rate outside of the zone. So the fastball and slider just weren't fooling anybody outside of the zone to get some of those swing and whiffs. So then that brings your pitches inside in the zone, Joe. It brings them in, and then that makes you more hittable.
Dear God. All right, let's get to the next one here. Willson Contreras.
The zone contact rate inside of... I believe what he's trying to say is the zone contact rate is a bit subpar from what we've seen normally from the statistics here in the Savant page.
Willson Contreras, this was not good. I watched this happen live last night. I was watching the game, and I was like, oh, goodness gracious. Like, so as soon as it happened, I thought it was his hand, but it turned out that it was his forearm. And it was nasty. So in case you didn't see this, Willson Contreras got hit by JD Martinez. And it was weird because Contreras was as far back as you could be, but he reached so far forward and he got caught there with the bat. And
it was the swing. JD Martinez's swing.
Oh, it was a full JD Martinez swing right onto his forearm. And it was, I mean, he was in substantial pain. I mean, they say 6 to 8 weeks.
Fractured his arm instantly. I mean, a bat. He literally got beat by a bat on his wrist.
I mean, that's like someone taking a bat to your forearm and broke. I'm like, hopefully it's a clean break. They're already doing the surgery. Like, we're already there. Frankie Montas made his return. 2 runs, only 1 earned, 6 innings, 4 hits. Not bad against your Diamondbacks. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 5 hits, 8 innings, 8-2 win for the Dodgers. And Kyle Harrison, part of a shutout. He threw 7 innings, and the bullpen came in and did the rest against the Rockies. Oh, the Rockies, Welsh, the gift that never stops giving.
But by the way, Harrison, you guys remember, like, my favorite thing yesterday was Imanaga, 4 strikeouts paired with Harrison for 5 against the freaking Rockies.
Yep.
Harrison was awesome, but no strikeouts. He had like 2 strikeouts over 7 innings. It's one of those like, oh, the process was right, but he just didn't need to strike any beat out. He's pitching to a ton of contact. He got
the Rockies were like, we've got dinner we got a late dinner planned for tonight. Can we just let's get this going? They're bad. You know, it's depressing when you can't look to the Rockies for offense. Think about that. Think about in our lifetimes of fantasy, right? I started playing fantasy, I think, in 1998. I want to say is when I started really playing fantasy baseball. Like I cared about it, and it was always Colorado. It was the days of Vinny Castilla. It was the days, of the Dante Bichettes of the world and that grouping and the Coloragas. And like, to think that we've gone through that, through the holidays and the Todd Heltons and all that. And now we're sitting here like, Tovar's pretty good. And, maybe Nolan Jones will come back healthy, but it's sad. It's depressing. You can't look for offense there. Gabriel Moreno, I want to talk about this. Not in the lineup yesterday. He was sick. A lot of people have been asking me about dropping him. We just did a piece on, who to drop and who to keep, guys who had slow starts, who are you believing in. So you can check that out on FantasyPros.com. That should be out probably later today or tomorrow. And for cleaning up, that's going to be the theme today, I think. So if you're joining us after the show, for the show after the show, which is kind of high and low sometimes, believe it or not, it's the show. We're going to have that conversation with a lot of players. If you've got players that you are trying to process, should I drop these guys? Should I hold on to these guys? I want you to bring those to the table in the conversation today. Join us live over on our Discord for that conversation right after this cleaning up, literally right after the show. Again, FantasyPros.com/chat. If you haven't joined it, because I think that's an interesting conversation. But going back to Moreno, is Moreno one of those guys that you are in a single catcher league, especially, just cutting time with?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big L for me as far as like, him being one of my big sleeper catchers of the offense has not gotten there whatsoever. Poor barrel rate, poor hard hit. It's worse than last year.
Which is so weird because he's such a good contact guy. Like, to me, the process was good. The results were bad.
He
So
might turn it around.
Too up about this.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't really care. I mean, catchers. That was also my big narrative. It's like you just take catchers late and you jump on that. Yeah, he is cuttable. I do think he will bounce back. The heart of heart says this is going to change, but you can cut him. And the number one question I've been getting asked is, could you cut Moreno for Ivan Herrera? Because I was going to tell you we moved past it, but I think Ivan Herrera is an absolute pickup. He had some big hard hit numbers.
Somebody just asked me this. Would you pick up Herrera or Garver?
Herrera. Garver, stinky. I mean, unless he's been, I haven't paid attention to him in the last week if he's turned it around, but he's looked so bad most of the year. I think
Seattle's just collectively bad. Like, I just think that offense is going to turn things around. Good conversation.
Herrera.
Herrera. 3 up, 3 down. Marcus Semien. Ooh, he was good. 4 for 5. Leadoff homer for him. 5 ribbies. A good day. Marcus Semien, man. I don't know if there's a guy in baseball who has had such a fantastic arc to his career that seems to get, I feel like, zero respect every year. This year in fantasy drafts and fantasy draft season, I feel like I took him a ton in a lot of our mock drafts. I just feel like this guy does not get enough credit for whatever reason. Maybe it's because of the markets he's played in, like Oakland and Texas, and then he was in Toronto for a short period. But Marcus Semien, man, that dude's just been awesome. Bryce Harper was also awesome. 3 for 3 with a granny, and Zach Gallen, 6 shutout innings, so he looks fine. That's good news. Not fine. I don't know how many times we talked about selling this guy, but winter came for Jose Berrios. 8 runs, 7 hits, 3 2/3. Now, it was against the Fighting Phils. It's a good offense, but still. It didn't have Trey Turner in it. We've been talking about the regression. We've been talking about the ERA versus the xERA and the xFIP and all the X-Men. I mean, I'm a big X-Men guy. I'm a big X-Men. I bet no one could know Who's your
guess.
Your favorite X-Men character?
I was about to say, I bet you can't guess who my
Jubilee.
favorite oh, yeah, of course. No, it's not. I mean, Wolverine's the best, but X-Men 97 series is one of the best shows on television.
I haven't watched it. I'm saving it like the summertime. I feel like is when I'll be able to watch it.
I'm watching Shogun and I'm watching
How is Shogun, by the way? Is it good?
Phenomenal. It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. I'm watching 2 of the best shows on television right now. It is killer. It's absolutely
okay. So who's your favorite X-Men character?
But you have to guess in the chat. I want people
to
guess.
Right. Someone says Gambit is already out there.
No, it's not Gambit. That's a good guess. The Berrios thing. I'm definitely going to do this. We're not going to do this all the time.
Now. Yeah.
Berrios was on the trade video to trade away weeks ago. And I just love it only because I remember after he had like a little bit of a bad start, somebody was like, oh, Will's just going to start celebrating about it. No, I'm going to wait a little bit. Now we can start celebrating about how right that was, how regressive he was going to be. And he's also not striking out guys. So no. And by the way, JP nailed it. JP nailed. That's my Nightcrawler. Kurt Wagner is my favorite. Was always my favorite X-Men growing up. So
there you go. Big Alan Cumming guy. That's the Welsh. Big fan. He did a great job with that character in the movies, I thought.
I mean, he was better than the kid in the First Class series.
Yes, that's also true.
Kurt Wagner. I love his skills.
I like the X-Men movies. Some of them got a little goofy as time went on, but
I mean, obviously, if you guys can see, I'm a big. You can't see it right now. Secret Wars comic up there. I'm a big X-Men guy. So
X-Men's high quality. It makes me want to rewatch the series. And with the Shogun thing, the look of it looks so good. You know me, I'm a sword fighting guy. I taught sword fighting for 10 years as a profession. Like, so whenever I see something in a new sword thing coming up, I'm like, okay, but I wasn't sure it was one of these shows that's like all show and no go, and no pun intended there, where it's like, is it just the looks really good, but it's got no depth, it's got no character, it's got no acting in it.
It was described to me, oh man, the acting is phenomenal. It was described as like samurai Game of Thrones, and it definitely
that's
does
how I've
have
heard that feel. And is it a reoccurring, like they're going to do more seasons, or is it just like a standalone series?
That I don't know. I mean, I know they have the one season. They should do more, but I think someone might have been.
Because I love those films. Like Hero is a terrific film. You like obviously Crouching Tiger, like all that stuff. Like I've watched those. I own all of those films. Like there's phenomenal.
This is phenomenal. By the way, the X-Men chat, the X-Men stuff in the chat. Love seeing everybody.
There you go. Look at you know our audience.
Let's talk about the X-Men. Let me tell you about
I really like X-Men. I was wondering in issue number 742, I was wondering there's something that seems out of place there, and I thought maybe perhaps you could shed some light on that.
I'm going to explain everybody about Bastion and Nimrod and how he was with the Sentinel, Prime Sentinel. All right. Sorry. I shouldn't even have those
fire today. This might be the best show we've ever done. And that's also saying something. Logan Allen, 7 earned runs. He stinks. Tim Anderson, 0 for 4. You want to talk about like guys who, like completely fallen off the map too. Tim Anderson, who was once upon a time, not that long ago, a very steady middle of the road, middle infielder in fantasy, and now is just like unrosterable. It's just unbelievable.
I want all right, I kind of want to do this joke. Can I? Well, no, it's gonna screw everything up. You got to go look at his baseball.
How is that different than every day?
I wanted to put the baseball savant on the
no, it's gonna screw up. I'll do it. Make it tomorrow. Give it to Ethan. Ethan will make a graphic of it tomorrow, and we'll
just imagine the farthest over blue bars. That's what it is.
Well, I don't want him at. I want to see it tomorrow. So send it to Ethan, and
you'll see.
Thank goodness for Ethan. He'll make the graphic up. Injuries. We got a lot again, as always. Some good, some bad. Senga working his way back in the bullpen. Tyler McGill working his way back in 7 strikeouts, another 4 shutout innings. He's been terrific. I almost feel like we should be adding him. I almost put him in the waiver wire ads, but here's the question. So Buto, Christian Scott, Manaya, all these guys, so who's getting booted from the rotation?
Well, Budo might be getting the boot. He would probably be the most likely of those. And then I think it's just a matter of time for Manaya.
I'm sure someone will get hurt between now and then. That's the Mets. It's
yeah, probably. Just better not be
Shane Baz. Another question. Shane Baz working his way back to 3 innings, and also Tosh Bradley working his way back. Who's getting the boot from the Rays rotation, Welsh?
Ooh, you just did that meme where it's like, I'll trade you everything. Give me everything good. I'll trade you bad. You know, that bing, 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 bing meme. I honestly, I'd have to see their rotation right now. I can't even think of all of the names that are in that rotation. I mean, but they've been putting out Tyler Alexander. I think is one of those guys that would go. I feel like they've done a lead up, 2-inning relief start game that they've had. I mean, give me the names. Give me the names that are in that rotation. You got Savali, you got Pepio. Those 2 are locked. Who else am I forgetting? Who? Eflin. Okay, so there's your 3. I think the rest were just combo type of players. So I think that's where
been great.
No, Pepio, Savali, and Eflin, they're locked in. McClanahan's not coming back till later. So I think that's where Bradley just slides right back in.
Okay.
And then I guess the 5th spot would be for Boz. I wouldn't be surprised if they put out a 6-man rotation, though, once everything is set, once you start getting back. Jeffrey Springs is going to probably.
And Pepio is not hurt, by the way, because I see that people in the chat, he's fine. Everything was fine. He got hit by a ball. He's fine. They said he's fine, so I'm going to believe and say he's fine. Kyle Hendricks allowed 1 run, 4 in the 3rd in his minor league rehab start. Brian Bayo struck out 5 and 2 2/3 in his rehab start yesterday. Seiya Suzuki is on a minor league rehab. Let's just watch the minor league baseball at this point. There's more guys playing in major league. I feel like there's more minor leaguers playing in major league baseball and more major leaguers playing in minor league baseball right now, the way this report goes. Lane Thomas taking batting practice. That's a good sign. And the Pepio leg came back negative. No fractures, no nothing. So should be hoping maybe he'll miss a start, but it doesn't look like an IL stand. Bobby Miller through another bullpen session. Edward Cabrera, 4 runs in 2 innings. He left the game with bicep discomfort. Not good. Max Meyer, everybody, let's go. Bring him back. And Garrett Cole through a bullpen session on Tuesday. And old man Clayton Kershaw, who's only 36, by the way. I just looked at that. It feels like Clayton Kershaw is 57 years old, but he's only 36. 20-pitch bullpen session on Tuesday. Any of these injury notes stand out fantasy-wise to you more than the other? Kodai Senga is the one.
Yeah,
that's the one that I was like, let's get that guy back.
Senga coming back, I think, is phenomenal. I mean, any of the big pitchers coming back is phenomenal. The Kershaw one's going to be really interesting because I think that's another thing that's going to go to a 6-man rotation whenever he is healthy.
Yeah, there you have it. All right, Welsh, good time here on the show so far today, and those times only get better when we change over to the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means? You should be making your wagers over at Bet365. Use that promo code leading off, bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you do. We've got a lot of fun things going on here. bettingpros.com/leading off. Join the group. And of course, make sure you're making your wagers at Bet365, 21 or 18 or older in Kentucky. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. Terms and conditions apply. I've got some terms and conditions, Welsh, today with my bets. Let's go with the Yankees facing Spencer Arrighetti. Oh, yeah, let's do this. The Yankees played really well against the Astros in the beginning of the year. I think the worm is turning here for them, so we'll see if I am right or wrong. But the Yankees team total today, I'm going really hyper-focused today. Well, check out the hyper-focus. Over 4.5 runs against Spencer Arrighetti. You're getting minus 111 on that. Juan Soto, over 0.5 RBIs. You're getting plus 130. Juan Soto was crushing the ball all over the place last time he faced the Astros, so I want to ride that wave. Also, George Kirby, who is back and healthy. This is tight, but I think we can make money on it. Over 6.5 strikeouts tonight in his outing, plus 112. The parlay of the day, going back to the Yankees, boys and girls. So we're going back to the Yankees for this one. So let's take that Juan Soto 0.5 RBI. Let's take that Yankee team run total. You're getting that together in the same game parlay at plus 218. That seems very reasonable to me. Again, an RBI and the Yankees to score 5 runs. Yeah, I think that's very possible. So let's take that today. Welsh, what do you have for the people for the best bets for Wednesday?
Okie dokie. Well, I am going to join you in trying to get involved in the Seattle Mariners because love me some George Kirby. So how about the first 5 money lines of the first 5 innings, betting on the Mariners to be in the lead because George Kirby's not going to give up runs. So that's my hope. So I found that around minus 112. So Seattle Mariners first 5 money line, one of my favorite bets of the day. I am dabbling back in, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, people, mutants, sentients. I'm getting back into a Nerfy. I pre-warned you.
You had a little Nerfy break. You and Nerfies had a really good relationship last year. This year, it seems like you got off.
Me and Nerfies went hot and heavy to start the year, and we were having a time, and then we broke up for a bit. But I'm jumping back into it. Washington, Baltimore, and it's not a big up juiced one because it's actually worse odds on a first run score. You've got Mitch Parker and you've got Kyle Bradish going up minus 110 for no run to be scored. Reason why: Washington is last in the league in first run scoring. Baltimore is the 11th worst in first run scoring. And Baltimore also has the second lowest scoring away team through the first inning in all of baseball. So I am attacking that one. And my little side note to the Welsh parlay of the day is if you pair that with Seattle and Minnesota no run first score with Chris Paddock and George Kirby, you can get almost 250 plus 250 to parlay those 2 no runs in the first inning if you want to do that. But Washington, Baltimore, the official one. And how about that Sonny Gray? Always attacking with Sonny Gray. Strikeouts 5.5 over. It's minus 120. The Mets, they're kind of a tough strikeout team in general. They don't do a whole bunch of it, but Sonny Gray has 6 strikeouts in every start this year, but one. That one, he pitched like 64. He struck out 9 Mets earlier in the year when he had his start. So I'm going to take the 5.5. And I will tell you, I've sprinkled a little bit on the alternative +7, which is around plus like almost 2-1. It's almost 2-1 to get 7 strikeouts on Sonny Gray. So that's my little sprinkle. Those are my best bets of the day.
And make sure you download the Betting Pros app right now. Start betting smarter, not harder. And of course, join us at bettingpros.com/leading off. That's our betting group. Those are the best bets of the day with Joey P and the Welsh. Welsh on FantasyPros.com. There is a fun article up to the new trade value chart is up too. So go check that out. Always great work there by our staff at Fantasy Pros.
Oh, I want to do that with our Imanaga one. Imanaga for Seeker. See what the trade
maybe you should go do that for us right now. Tomorrow. Not right now. We don't have time for that. We've got other fish to fry. We've got things to give away. The Trophy Smack Fantasy Baseball Championship belt can be yours. Drop a comment below. Subscribe to the channel. That's all you got to do. And this brilliant championship belt is yours, courtesy of our good friends at Trophy Smack. Again, you should be subscribing to the channel anyway. And when you do, ring the bell for notifications. Every time a piece of content drops here on the channel. Welsh, it's time to look at the big board. Any movement today? Pazzi up to 15. Look at Pazzi's on fire. I'm still stuck at 11, so I'm ranked number 13. But I don't see the Welsh. You need double digits now.
It was the chance. Close. Yesterday, there were a couple people with 9. I could have jumped. I got my homer call. Ketel Marte, thank you very much. No Ohtani. I didn't get there. I'm trying. Get me on the board. You're so close.
You're right there. You're right there. I'm going to be right there today, too, with Juan Soto again. That's right. And you always pick the big. That's right. And so I want home runs because I want to be the heel around here. So how do you do that? Well, you call home runs and you call them with big-time players. So Juan Soto, going to show you my Soto face today or tomorrow, depending on how things go.
Gonna ride the Soto train.
Soto, who are you going with your home run call for today?
Office Space, amazing. Give me a Schwarbomb. That's right. We're going to be attacking Chris Bassett. Give me the Kyle Schwarber for the big home run today. Get me on the board, Kyle.
I'm going to apologize to Rob because I heard that Pepio was not going on the IL this morning. So if indeed they said that last night, then that is news that is different than what I heard this morning from some of the beat guys down there. So again, apologies if that's incorrect on Pepio. I was told that he might miss a start from what I saw, not necessarily going the IL. So we'll see how that goes.
And it looks like
again,
Taj is starting, I think it's on Friday. So that looks like that's already happening.
Would that be Pepio's already smart?
Start
there?
I believe so. Or right in line, right close to it.
There you go. That's why we can't have nice things. Nobody's healthy anytime. I'm just happy that Willson Contreras' arm is still attached to him, because that was brutal last night. That was not the kind of injury you want to see. Well, any final thoughts for today? We got a little time left. Anything that is exciting you today in Major League Baseball you got your eye on? You look at the slate, you see what's going on here. I'm excited about the Yankees and the Astros there. What about you? Anything out there that's really popping for you today in the world of MLB?
A couple quick things here. I'm going to be paying attention to Corbin Carroll a little bit more. I was having fun with it last night with, tweeting my picture when he hits a homer, but I really do think we want to pay attention to what some of those exit velos are looking like, the way he's making contact. If he's getting the ball in the air, that opposite field homer was great, and it was oppo. So pay attention to that. George Kirby, of course, is going to be on my mind, when I'm going to be paying heavy attention to as he continues to lock in and hopefully dominate. And then I've seen Anthony mention this like 3 or 4 times, but Caminero. A lot of people are asking about Caminero because of this article that came out. Listen, I've heard nothing. Local reporters are going to have a better lock than me. For me, it's a lot of speculation. And what's going on is you're having local reporters saying that he might not be up anytime soon. And I buy it. I think we talked about
tomorrow.
It could be. I think we talked about it here on ITL, but he's only played third base this whole year. So shortstop is just not going to be an option. Caballero has played well. This would have to be a situation where he's going to go and he's going to DH. And listen, it's fair enough. We have to talk from this level of excitement with prospects and stuff. But I mean, every time they fail, it's like, you guys are, comments are 0 for 5. Okay, we get how those things work. You might have a team that also sees the landscape of it, they don't feel they're in desperate need, even though their offense is kind of stunk a little bit, but they just got a rejuvenation from Josh Lowe, that they're going to hold this back. I think it's a possibility. And guess what? I was saying 3 weeks ago, and I was getting killed for it in the chat, I might not hold on to Caminero if I have short benches, and I would move on to players that are getting production right now because we just don't know. And we could go into June now where Caminero is not in the majors. And if you've held since draft day, you've held for 2 months. If there are viable options out there, we can't know what the Rays are going to do. I would make that move, especially in short benches or something like that.
I originally said Memorial Day. I'm sticking with Memorial Day. That was before he got hurt. And then he came back and he was red hot and everyone's like, oh, he's going to come up soon. And I was like, well, maybe he will. That would be nice. But for me, the things I'm looking forward tonight, Jack Leiter getting a start, see if he can get that 17 ERA down. Also, Chris Sale's first start tonight against his old squad, the Red Sox.
Pavetta back too. That's going to be great. Pavetta and Sale. That's going to be a good matchup.
So lots of fun things. Good times. Times that were good. Thanks for joining us live, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to FantasyPros MLB and, of course, wherever you get your podcast. Also, don't forget to check out right after the show, Cleaning Up is going to be here for you. Go join us on Discord at 115 fantasypros.com/chat. It's free. It's fun. We'll make you famous. Bring your questions there. Let's talk about your teams. Let's talk about your rosters. Let's talk about your feelings. Let's talk about X-Men. I don't know, whatever you want to talk about.
FantasyPros.com/cleaning up to get you straight there if you would like.
Straight there. FantasyPros.com/cleaning up. Straight there. Also,
your favorite X-Men.
The Cycle comes out tomorrow, I believe, too, with The Worm and Mike Mayer, which is another program you should be listening to on our audio versions. This is no YouTube, just the audio side. So lots of baseball for you. You're welcome. This is what we do. That'll do it for us, though. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.